Hey everybody, in this video we'll be focusing on building solid fundamentals with the Vienna opening, and with that I'm referring to following basic opening concepts such as developing according to the center, not running after meaningless material. We try to highlight some of the main plans for white, and also one of the most important things, how to easily convert any position when you're having a bit of extra material. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please feel free to use the timestamps from the description, and let's get started. Looks like we're getting the white pieces and opening up with a king's pawn. Once in a lifetime, we've got to play like a man. Are men playing better than women? Let's not get into that. Okay, don't want to get banned in like the first seconds of the video. And perhaps even better than that, we could get to show one of the main traps of our little Vienna Gambit by playing f4. Because the only reasonable move that black has is d5. And they usually don't find that in this rating range. So you'd normally get to see something like d6 or takes, which is actually just giving white such a huge position. I mean, if you're playing e4 and you're not going for the Vienna Gambit, I'm just wondering, what the heck are you doing even with your life? I mean, do you see what kind of positions you can get? Just watch out for queen h4 check first. And this is just becoming like a dream version. This is basically, you can think of it as like the King's Gambit, but it's actually good. So I think that just explains how good this opening is. And after d4, d5, I remember giving in my chessable course the move queen e2, which is like a little bit of a fancy idea, perhaps unnecessary, just like all the videos that I keep making. But you guys like them for some reason, so I guess I'll keep doing it. Okay, just gonna grab that pawn onto f4, trying to complete development. On d takes on e5. I was assuming we would just take with a bishop, worst case scenario, and after bishop takes, we do take back, hitting the pawn on b7. And we already have, look at our position. We've got 3 pieces, 2 pawns in the center, ready to castle, bishop c4. I mean, imagine you go to like a street fight. Yeah? You're like 3 guys already against, well, you're basically fighting nobody at this point because opponent has no pieces. So you could like get into an argument and fight against each other, but normally you should be able to win such fight when you have no opponent. So d takes on e5, just taking with the bishop is a thing, just keeping it simple. I mean, could also go for like the intermediate, queen takes on b7 if you want to like play it fancy, but not today. Take it with a bishop, keep it simple. I want to play bishop c4 next, just hoping for the checkmate in one. But because of the move knight c6, that's actually threatening knight takes on e5. I mean, threatening, maybe it's a little bit too much, but that's a bit annoying, and that will defend f7 as well. So what I'm thinking now, because of his last move, instead of bishop c4, we could actually adapt our thinking process, and against knight c6, we could even go for the pin, which looks very juicy. Not only threatening to take the knight, but also now there is this idea, taking advantage of the pin. So this is something super important, and that's why whenever somebody is pinning one of your pieces, you want to get rid of the pin ASAP, because just a move like d5 could come and, you know, your knight is pinned, and you're probably going to have to say goodbye to your knight very soon. So that is gonna be like a pretty sad turn of events. I'm like usually emotionally attached to my knights every single game. So yeah, you can imagine being a chess player for like more than a decade has been a pretty traumatizing experience, if you couldn't tell from the way I'm recording these videos. So just castling long, developing quick. I'm like one move away from bringing all the pieces into the game and finishing development, while opponent is some moves away from castling, you know. Definitely need some time to castle. Okay, you may be wondering, well, still, you talked about d5 so much, why didn't you play it? Well, I'm human, I forget sometimes, okay? sometimes I just forget about making a move like d5. Honestly, it wasn't like such an obvious win there because just to show you, there's like a6, counter trick, bishop a4, b5 kind of idea. Not very simple. So I thought castling is just like so easy. I mean, just look at him. He plays a6. Do you think we're gonna go for some brilliant sacrifice? Heck no. Just keep it simple. Take the knight, bring the rook. Yeah, not even looking for any other moves. I just know by using all of my pieces, we're gonna be able to win a straight fight. So that's why we're playing rook e1. Yeah, because bishop to d6, and now we've got a choice. Now we can take on d6. Now we can go bishop takes on g7. Pick up the rook. There's bishop f6 idea as well, hoping to win the queen. All of this working, by the way, because of the discovery. So if you're new to chess, the discovery is usually basically like a knockout. I mean, if you've seen the fight between Aman Hambleton and Lawrence Trent, that is basically how it looks when you give a discovery. Yeah. So bishop takes on g7 is yeah, pretty cool, pretty simple. Obviously, nothing wrong with that. Perhaps winning even quicker. But on king d7, I think I see a mate in one, but I'm not sure. That's like kind of story of my life. Anyways, knight e7, just picking up the rook. And you see, how are we actually winning this game when I'm like just talking complete nonsense, not even like providing you with instructive ideas, and that will make you unsubscribe, which I'm totally aware of and sad, but we just develop our pieces and the game just wins itself. That's how you have to play in a lot of these low-rated games, especially, I mean, yeah, with the white pieces, you can usually get ahead in development, with the black as well, but yeah, with black, as long as you stay solid, and as showed in one of my previous videos, if you can have a solid position, just let your opponents self-destruct. So yeah, I noticed, guys, you're in the comments like, dude, you're not supposed to say self-destroy. And I know, guys, but you need to also understand that you know, my English can be improved at times, but maybe sometimes I'm just trying to troll you so I can bait you for engagement. How about that? Have you ever thought about it? That would have been a brilliant plan, I know. Sadly, it's not the case, but I notice you guys in the comments, so if you've got any ideas, any nice things to say, let me know. If not, just shut up. So, bishop e7, queen f5, just checking my opponent's king until we stumble into a checkmate. That's basically how you should think about these positions. And okay, on to king c6, there's definitely like a hanging bishop that's waiting for us to be taken. And that is the threat of mate in one. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for it. There you go, guys. We do manage to get the checkmate. Now, perhaps some mistakes were made along the way, but I think quite critical is if you look at my game, with every single move that I make, I'm trying to develop a piece. Yeah, I play e5. Okay, we do the knight. We do the pawn. I develop a piece. Okay, he takes. I develop another piece. In the meantime, he takes on e5. I'm like, fine, I'll recap. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll recap. Goes knight c6. What am I doing? I'm not retreating with a bishop. I'm developing another piece. Goes knight e7, castling. And because we have gotten like such a lead in development, okay, just kind of the decisive mistake, just for those of you that are still wondering and are a bit like kind of confused, since this happened so quick, it's easy to miss. The deadly mistake was this. Move 3, he just lost. You may be wondering, wait a minute, how is this like happening, okay? You don't have to trust me, okay? You have this little button that's gonna increase your IQ with like 100 points once you click it. It says +1. The thing says it's +1. Who am I to argue with the thing here? So I just follow what the thing says, and sometimes it helps. Okay, if you're a beginner, don't use the computer. Just use it for like sort of blunder check. Don't try to learn or train with a computer. That's like complete nonsense. It will really kill your chess improvement, because well, yeah, you just won't be able to understand what the computer says, because nobody actually does. So yeah, after this we're just winning, and what we did, we just kept pushing this development edge that we had, which ultimately got us into a situation where I play rookie one, opponent hasn't finished development, and if you turn on the engine, it's just +8 position. So yeah, main lesson from this game: with each move, try to develop a piece and play the Vienna Gambit, and that should be pretty much it about it. So I think we can move on to the following game. Everybody, you feel like you learned a thing or two, or simply for some weird reason you like hanging out with me, would really help the channel if you'd like the video. And before I let you go, I just wanted to announce that we just released a new course on Chessable. It's a blitz weapon, the so-called Scandinavian Gambit for Black. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the first link from the description while the course is still on an introductory sale. So without further interruption, let's just get back into the games. Okay. Looks like we're getting to face almost a 1000 rated player, and let's see what he's got for us against the Vienna opening. So no longer doing the Gambit against the 96 move, and we do get a symmetrical setup where we go for the throat, playing Queen G4. This is the most efficient way of trying to punish his last bishop c5, which is quite inaccurate. They are supposed to play knight f6 instead. And now either g6, queen f6, I expect you to face. Queen f6 is probably more common, where I'm definitely looking forward to enter the complicated lines that are supposed to be much better for white. So here, black is trying to defend and attack in the same time. But there's a pretty nice move that is just much better for white. If you can recall the analysis, most likely we won't be able to, but this is just winning with precise play. After king d1, it's like +1. There's just like a bunch of variations where we gotta be careful not to get mated. Now, from my experience, king f8 is common here, and then knight h3, queen d4, d3. We already had a game like that in the rating climb, and I still managed to allow some counterplay. But we'll see what opponent does here. You've got to be like super careful about these lines, because at some point, if you move this bishop, for instance, you can get mated in one. But for now, the bishop is covering f1, and usually your opponents are not really well prepared while entering these, so they won't find like the most stubborn defense. But anyways, usually when I say that, that doesn't end very well, so maybe a bit more clever just to wait and see what he plays. Because he is dealing with a pretty unpleasant, well, triple threat maybe. So I'm not only threatening knight c7 and queen g7, but also knight h3, because queen d4, d3, almost trapping the queen with c3. So that is definitely something that a lot of people that are not very familiar with this line could easily forget about. And opponent just goes bishop b6, which is trying to protect the c7 pawn, which is very admirable. But why can't I just take on g7 and enjoy my free win? Sometimes I'm just wondering that. There might be something that I'm missing. You know, guys, that funny video where like a GM blunders and the other GM is looking at him like this must be some kind of crazy mastermind plan that he doesn't get. That looks is pretty funny. That's kind of my look right now when I'm like trying to figure out whether we win this or not. Just gonna follow my intuition. And yeah, take g7, asking basically, okay, let's see how you want to protect. Now, big question is, okay, let's say he plays d6. Are we gonna take the rook? Kind of doubt that we take the rook. Maybe it's playable. But then bishop g4 check, knight e2, gotta figure out that's fine for us. But probably it is. I don't know, it just feels like bishop b6 is really off there. I just think we probably just have an easy win as long as I don't blunder mate in 1 on f1. That's the main thing to watch out for. See, opponent already burning a lot of time, so this is one of the lines that it's analyzed in quite some detail in my Chessable course. So If you know your stuff, you could definitely get a bunch of free wins. Or not. Wait, 94. Still no threat. I think I can take, and if he takes on G2, that has to lose to something. Just need to figure out what that something really is. Well, I mean, knight h3 isn't that easy. Hitting the queen. He has like queen h4 only move, but then I pick up his rook. Ah, then he wants queen g4. Oopsies, that does not work. But I've got like knight c7. That's guys, this is beautiful. Look at this. Just get ready. This is gonna be a brilliancy. Okay, guys, this is really. If you haven't subbed to the channel yet, have to sub because we're about to win a queen in one move. Okay. Not even have to play it. Winning 8 moves. That's like title for the next video. We already have it here. Winning 8 moves with the Vienna Gambit. There you go. Actually, this is Vienna opening. But anyways, the point that I was trying to show is if you would have played queen h4, I thought knight takes on c7 was clever. Yeah, and I wanted to do this. And if he does bishop takes, that simply allows a mate in 2. Because the bishop's taking away the main escaping square for the king. Sadly, that didn't happen, and also he could go king d8, and after knight a8, it could potentially complicate. I wonder what if queen h5, I guess just g4. I have to play g4, else I get mated. That's a pretty slim margin of error. If you don't find g4 there, you could easily... Oh, that was a mouse snip. You could easily lose in that position. But usually, yeah, I'm just like telling you guys, king d1, just like a +1, very large advantage objectively already whenever you're entering these kind of lines. So bishop c4, bishop c5, very common setup for black for sure. And when you play queen g4 and then knight d5, I really expect you are gonna get a lot of free wins from the opening. All right, getting a white game, and opening up with a king's one. How surprising! I know. And we do it because we specifically want to be getting into the Vienna Gambit. And, well, Gambit or opening against knight f6, I like the Gambit. Against knight to c6, I like the bishop move. And, well, let's see if they're going to take on f4. That's statistically the most common move. The only reasonable move for black is d5, which I think they never really play in this rating range. I think below like 1200, that should be super rare. So indeed, he does go for takes. I swear this guy is not like a paid actor. And I'm just gonna go e5, and they don't really have a nice retreating square for the knight. That's kind of the honest truth about this variation. And that's why, already objectively speaking, white is close to winning. Which is one of the nice things about playing this opening against e5. You don't really expect to be winning this early. Goes for queen e7, and we just need to unpin. We cannot take on f6 because they won't let us, because this is a pin. So we just need to unpin. And now, once again, the knight doesn't have many squares. They're supposed to go onto g8, but some of these opponents, okay, guys, I'm gonna be brutally honest, in the 800 rating range, they don't really know that the knight can move backwards. So at this point, it was just... Screw the knight, focus on development, okay? It's not over. So just knight c6, okay? Just we're gonna be taking the knight, and like the nice part about this is not only that we win a piece, but we also force the queen trade, which is already, as you know, what we are definitely looking forward to. When we're up a piece, just exchange everything and bore the heck out of our opponent. Even has the triple pawns. Pretty funny. Now, knight d5 would be a pretty annoying move for my opponent to deal with. Hitting c7, hitting f6. There was nothing wrong with knight f3, but I just wanted to highlight this idea. Just giving him a really hard time playing this position. And then I'm gonna just go knight f3, okay? I might not even waste time on taking the f6 pawn, because we don't have to. Like, that's like the first Sigma male rule. You don't have to take a pawn like that when you're up a piece. Okay, I'm just kidding, guys. Don't like listen to that. I'm pretty sure you guys are smart enough to figure out when I'm actually kidding, and when it's like the stuff that you need to focus on. Okay, knight d4, hitting c2. That's definitely something that we gotta pay attention to, or at least try not to blunder it. So How do we defend? Okay. There is bishop d3. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. There's also the more like funny looking bishop d1 that kind of gets the job done, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I would much rather go for a bit more active, so I'm gonna stick with bishop d3, kind of blocking his comrade on c1, but at least well, not losing the rook, so that's just better than losing. So yeah, lesson number one, guys: don't blunder your pieces. So with that awesome tip, you can just subscribe to the channel so you get more of these. Okay. Okay, he goes king d8. Just gonna try to develop this bad boy. Okay, bishop on d3 is in the way. We're chilling, just playing b3, trying to finish development, figure out this is a pretty juicy diagonal. And well, if he hits us with a check, which I kind of forgot about in the first place, I've got to be brutally honest, I might just go king f2 there. Okay, c6 hitting the knight. At this point, we could definitely retreat, but I feel like a trade is definitely not too bad. Material, just go knight f3, finishing development. Simply looking forward to exchange all the pieces. You guys already know what our main strategy is. Okay, we can get castled, bring the rook to the open file next, and just look for ways that we could start forcing the trades. Bringing the rook to the open file always. Remember that. Not even paying attention to the free pawns. And next up, I may look for a move just that's moving the knight and doing that. Not now, because pay attention to what your opponent does. By the way, guys, I see that's usually a thing very common for lower rated games, which is kind of common. Okay, I think maybe we can make this comparison to League of Legends if you guys play that game, and which is probably one of the main reasons why you enjoy this channel as well, because chess has something in common with League. Yeah, if you're good at that game, that means you have no social life like whatsoever. And the thing with League is when you're trying to play like a new champion, let's say, it's actually very hard to focus on, you know, like what other things are happening on the map, because you're just like focusing on the matchup. Yeah, you're just focusing on your lane. The League guys are like getting this. So here, yeah, it's like sort of, I see this like the same mistake happens in chess. Like some people are just well, they are so focused on what they are supposed to do, how they are supposed to develop, and they forget to look what their opponent is doing, which in League is perhaps not like such a big mistake, as you can just win your lane and do okay. But in chess, our setup is usually, you know, we're really supposed to react to what our opponent does. And the first thing that we should do, it's always like, look, okay, he played f5, how does that affect the position? Or whatever he does, you get the point. And then you try to take a decision. A lot of players would be just like blind, you know, like already, since you guys like the London system so much and you watch the channel, you already know, you just like play bishop d3, pre-move. I mean, maybe you go ahead, get some drinks, get some food, and next thing you know, you pre-moved everything and your opponent just mated you. So we need to like kind of get out of the habit a little bit and just watch out for what your opponent does. And as I was saying already, we go for the trades. As promised, we need to move the knight to open up the rook. I was thinking knight h4, that was the only square, but now, of course, we prefer a more central square if possible. So we go knight d4 instead, threatening rook f4, preparing bishop takes on f5, and yeah, let's see. Opponent really has no counterplay. It's just a sad position to be in. He's got like 5 pawns that are isolated. I mean, look at this. This is like a world record, I feel like. How can you have 5 isolated pawns in the same game? That is brutal. And here, there's nothing wrong with knight takes on e6, guys. But there's actually a bit of a better move, which you can be my guest. Pause the video and try to find the cleanest winning move for white, because it's easy to stick with the rule. Yeah, just go knight e6, exchange everything and win. But you should watch out for basic tactics. And that is why we can win by going rook takes on e6. Can even try to make the Levy voice and go, Rook takes on a6. And then we actually get to in the rook. Okay, guys. I promise not to do that voice ever again, so apologies in advance. Now we're just gonna pick up the material and yeah, just try to not hang my knight. Take the pawns one by one. Opponent will try probably something like rook e8. And yeah, I could just take on f4. Nothing wrong with that. On the rook e1 check, I've got rook f1, so he just resigns. Now, pretty sure we got like a perfect score for this game, which I'm not even like gonna check. I mean, maybe we could. Yeah, let's check it. Why not? Guys, come on. I mean, everybody checks the game review. I mean, I got into this habit after streaming. Back in my days, there was no such thing like checking your game review. I mean, there was just like your coach who said, okay, dude, you play like 30 good moves, but you made one stupid mistake, so you play like the worst game of your life, and you're just gonna feel like after you hear that, you're like, okay, I cannot really continue with this. Chess is too hard, and it's just gonna be depressing. But if you're looking at game review, it's gonna say like, oh, you've got an 80. You're like the next Magnus Carlsen, when in fact the game was really bad. So it's not really like something that I really use to indicate whether it was actually a good game or not. True, if it's like a 99 score, it's kind of hard to argue with that, but it's also maybe an indicator that some anal beads were used in the process. So after castle, rook e1, yeah, even brilliant move. Rook takes on e6. Okay, promise not to do that. Fine. So okay, can't really add much on this game. So hopefully that was instructive enough. As I was saying, like f4. d5 is the only move to kind of get a reasonable position for black, where I recommend this, and going queen f3. This is what I recommend in my chessable course. Just saying, guys, this is my main recommendation, okay? Queen f3 leading to interesting play. So yeah, with that being said, I think we can just move on to the following game. Okay, getting another white game, and is it gonna be another Vienna? Hell yeah. Here we go. Let the fun game begin. Is it gonna be another Gambit? Perhaps just 96. I'm like really guessing it's gonna be 96, guys, okay? You know I'm always right when I'm guessing. Okay, you need to cut that at the editing. Just gonna be sticking with the Gambit, okay? Knight f6, the Gambit is pretty good. Are we gonna see takes? Okay, we see d6, which is not that bad. And important not to take, because that's typical mistake opening up their bishop. Just go knight f3. Taking is not really great. Just go d4 and then try to win back the pawn. If you can. If you're not gonna be able to, I mean, don't contact me. It's your game. Bishop g4. Winning the knight. And you know what we do with these things? Just play h3. Hit the bishop. See what they have in mind. They're kind of forced to take, because pay attention. If they were going to h5, you can actually just go g4. Bishop has only one square, but then f5 is trapping the bishop. That would have been winning a piece. So they have to take. We're gonna be taking, and now knight c6 is a pretty interesting move for them. Threatening knight e4, and then I think we have an important move that's an idea to really keep in mind while playing these lines that are quite common for the lower rated games when they play d6, which is to go bishop to b5. Now on queen e7, I'm not super sure what to do, but if knight e6 happened, that was for sure the move. Giving back the bishop but making sure no knight is reaching d4, then we play d3 and we just have a position where we have more space and this bishop is more active than the enemy. So we were doing completely fine in that regard. So okay, queen e7, definitely a mistake, because it's putting the queen in front of the bishop, not moving either of these pieces, and yeah, I can keep going, but you get the idea. So okay, we identify the weak move. Now how should we punish this? I wish I knew. That would have probably made me a grandmaster by this day, but we can try to make a guess here. So still, I'm definitely keeping in mind to be able to mate knight c6 with bishop to b5. However, what else should we play? If I go d3, then knight c6 is gonna happen, which I'm kind of got mixed feelings about. I could just play bishop c4, knight e6, and play d3, trying to meet knight d4 with queen f2. That perhaps may not be that bad. That may be actually reasonable. Probably here is just my perfectionism that's overthinking like crazy, and I should just be making a move. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with bishop c4. That can't be such a bad move. Developing a piece, preparing to castle. I mean, yeah, okay, of course he does that. Now, are we gonna go there? I mean, we could, but still, I don't think I'm gonna play it. Even though maybe, quality of a strong player is to recognize these kind of spots and be like, okay, I did that, time to move the bishop once again if it's like actually required, and not be stubborn. So I think I'm just gonna try to act like a smart player. It's already impossible to fool you that I am a smart player, but just try to act like one. I'm gonna go bishop b5, losing on tempo. I know, what a tragedy. But at least not giving him knight e4. So at the end of the day, if I'm not gonna blunder a fork, that will probably result in a positive win rate for me. So I'm just gonna do that. Now, of course, taking so his knight doesn't land on d4 and we double up his pawns. And well, we can definitely take, so that if he takes, the pawns are like pretty weak. Or I can also just play d3. Simple move. I can also get castle. How about that? Look at that. That's beautiful. I think I'm gonna start with d3 just so I can meet pawn takes with bishop takes. Oh, he just instantly played d5. Okay, that's kind of terrifying. How about we just ignore and we get castled? That's like, you guys should try it. Getting castled is pretty underrated. I can also take first and go like bishop f4, winning a tempo while developing. Can't be too bad either. But I'm just gonna keep it simple in castle. Is he gonna lock the position? I'm like quite happy if he does, just 92. Even knight a4 could be interesting, but just 92, not to blunder the knight. He could check me on c5, but I think we just sidestep, maybe king h1. Could do h2 as well, but I feel like h1 is safer. Because, it's just kind of something named intuition, guys. It's just, my experience says if I go queen c5, king h2, in a weird scenario, h5, knight g4 may hurt me. So my intuition, or let's say my overly defensive playstyle, told me to play king h1 there. That didn't happen, so of course it probably just ends up being a pretty irrelevant information for you. But just gonna take with the bishop, connect the rooks. He takes. Can take with a knight, but why would we trade? It's always important to understand why. If you don't have an answer for that, you don't. That's pretty simple. So take with a pawn. If he checks me, move the king. I think we're already much better because king is much safer. We've got completed development already. Let me do the blue color. Wait, how do we do the blue color? Damn it. Okay, I don't know. I no longer know how to use chess.com. Sorry, guys. I wanted to highlight the pieces with the blue, but you'll have to live without that. I'm sorry. Okay, hope we can live with that. Without that. So, checks me. Already told you. Not even gonna. Not even gonna consider anything else. And as I was saying, we're up in development. This structure is weak. Maybe e5, maybe bishop g5 at some point. Not now, not blundering the bishop, but at some point this could be an idea. He goes for the trade. Once again, we can trade. What do we gain from it? That's the question. Now, the alternative is, however, bishop e3. But on queen e5, that's kind of annoying. So, what do we gain from trading? We gain that we don't get mated, which is still something. So, that's not too bad. Still, considering, I'm not sure I want to like let him take with a pawn. I could at this point just like play rook on the open file. That's like hardly a bad move. It's like always fine. I could also think about attacking his queen. I also considered e5, but I don't see how would that work. Maybe it wins a piece and I just don't really have the strength to calculate that. Oh, actually e5 is crazy, guys. My intuition told me e5 is a good move, but look at this. So we take, queen takes, we open path to c6. Of course, e5, just easy win. Gosh, what am I missing? That's a very easy move right there. So he takes, and then the pawn on c6 remains undefended, which is gonna be exposing his king. So that happens, and yeah. Equal material is just king safety that plays a massive role. And guys, remember this. I told you king h1 is gonna be better. Now, look at this. Why it's important to have this kind of intuition developed. If this would have happened with my king on h2, yeah, think my king was think of it as my king was already there. He could have taken with a check, and then I'm no longer in time to pick up c6. So that is like ends up playing a huge role, which we said it was an irrelevant information in the first place, which is actually just winning the game for us on the spot. Now, what rook d2 does, potentially threatening queen g3 and then trying to play for mate, but that's not even a threat yet. And we can simply go for check and pick up the rook. Yeah, that's a thing. But I'm gonna go rook ad1 just to try to look clever. You already know that how that goes, but I'm gonna try to show you a nice idea. So if he takes, he kind of has to take, I feel like. If he plays the other rook to d8, queen a8 wins, because then we pick up this guy. But I feel like he's gonna take. That's kind of for sure that's gonna happen. That one actually hit him with the intermezzo. I'm not taking back. I'm going queen a8. So we can take back with a check and then pick up the rook. But we managed to get rid of his annoying piece. So that's why we managed to avoid counterplay. Also, you cannot just keep the rook on the second file by taking this. Yeah, because of checkmate in one. So as I was about to highlight that he played it and we get the mate. But let me actually show you what the main point was. The big idea here was if he was to take... I don't take, because, I don't know, he plays king b8, I was thinking, to stop mate. But I go check. Only move here. Now don't take, because you get mated. But take here first with a check. King has to move somewhere. We take the rook. And as I was saying, guys, I could do that in the first place as well. There is nothing wrong with this and queen h8, I imagine. I think this is completely winning according to the engine, yeah? +9. But you never know. Sometimes this could be a mate. In like a weird scenario, it could be a mate. Yeah, you play here, he goes knight g4. Look at this. You just got mated. Congrats. Threatening this takes you mate. And then you start crying, oh, I lost the winning position. Too bad. Chess is hard. But that's what we do here. He's got an annoying piece. Okay, we don't like rush with getting out. We play the best move. Rook ad1. Okay, just get rid of his annoying piece. And we aim for the safer version, okay? Come on, guys. Easy. Just do this. And then you've got an easy win. So, I think, well, actually, let's check it out. This was an interesting spot in the game that I'm not super sure of. We played knight c6. And I told you that we could play d3 and knight e4, queen f2. That's kind of the first thing I said about this position, and that should be okay. But that's like a really annoying knight. I would be like really... The anxiety starts to kick in when we see that knight on d4. So I'm like, okay, we lose a tempo. Who cares? He played the move queen e7. This kind of gives us a little bit of flexibility to lose half a tempo like that. And play bishop b5. Make sure that he's never going to get an annoying knight. And then for the rest of the game, you notice that he literally had absolutely no counterplay. It was just an easy win. Okay, e5 was a nice move there. That's just kind of really speeding up the process. But any other simple move, guys, like taking and whatever he takes with, you're just kind of much better anyways because his king is weak in the long run. So yeah, I think with that, we can move on to the following game. All right, everybody, we're hunting for another Vienna game, hopefully. And I really love the fact that below 1000, so many people reply e4 by going for e5 because you could be getting into the Vienna quite frequently. And against the early bishop c5 move, this is actually quite an interesting position. I don't think queen g4 is as strong as before. And yeah, I'm definitely considering to just play it simple with bishop c4. Also, it's not a disaster, I believe, to go for f4. Bishop g1, check, g3, queen takes. Then I think rook g2 should be okay. So yeah, I think f4 is the right move in this position. I kind of remember barely checking this. And I know for a fact bishop g1 is not as annoying as it may seem. Could be messing up my files for sure. When he takes though, that's not very critical. There is this little idea. So usually we just start with knight f3. Then on the very next move, we want to get d4 in, get this beautiful pawn center. And then idea is, of course, finally recapturing the f4 pawn, re-establishing material equality. And life should be pretty good. I mean, you've got two pawns in the center. It cannot be that bad. Come on, guys. You got to be a little bit more optimistic. Come on, tough crowd. Anyways, d4. Hitting the bishop. Threatening to win the f4 pawn. I mean, probably just don't get how insane of a position this is. I'm pretty sure like some of you are like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Should I play the Vienna? Lot to know. Maybe I would just like stick with other nonsense opening. Guys, you have to try the Vienna, come on. As an e4 player, at least. If you're like playing 1d4, don't like switch to e4 just for the Vienna. Or maybe do. I don't know what advice is better, but we see opponent developing both bishops like this. This is like kind of a typical pattern, guys, when they are developing the bishop in an X. That's already like, if I had to guess the elo, that's like clearly below 1k. All the time they do this, which is not amazing because, well, if they just give us their bishops, we're gonna get a bishop pair. But what is bishop pair good? Well, you're gonna get the benefit of that a bit later in your chess career. It's important that you get into the habit of getting the two bishops. And just try to stay away from the enemy forks. As long as you don't get forked, you should be having a pretty good time. That's what they told me at least. So, knight c6, I like to just go for the pin. The idea is that if you play d5, then the knight could potentially jump around either d4 or even e5. So, I just want to make sure this is well defended. And we could do that by castling as well. But bishop b5 is like such a natural move. I could castle and bishop c3 take back with a queen just to keep a healthy pawn structure. Yeah, I'm just gonna castle long, in fact. That's I like bishop b5, don't get me wrong, but I feel like this is just a little bit more flexible. So yeah. Let's see what opponent has in mind. On knight f6, I feel like bishop g5 is a very annoying move for him to deal with. And, well, perhaps queen f6 is interesting, but then on queen f6, there is knight d5. And that is super annoying for my opponent, hitting both the queen, the b4 bishop, the c7 pawn. What else? Hitting everything. Perhaps a bit safer for opponent to go knight ge7. I think that's in fact best move. Yeah, okay, queen f6. I'm gonna go knight e5 as I promised. Just highlighting that we're hitting a bunch of pieces and he's forced to go back, I think. So definitely expecting him to go queen d8. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I've got like bishop b5 now, threatening this. I've got like e5, trying to open up the position, guys. Okay, gotta be careful now. Have to grab your attention somehow. You're probably sleepy already. You gotta wake up, guys, okay? Important moment. So, opponent has king in the middle, already castled. He has to move the knight and then rook, so he's like, and then like castle, so he's 2 moves away from castling. How do you take advantage of that? You can perhaps even go ahead and pause the video. Let me know in the comments, see if you get it right. Most likely not. When your opponent has the king in the middle, you want to be opening up the position, okay? And usually you do that with a move like e5, yeah? If this takes, we take, we open up the d file, lots of threats. Is this best move objectively? I think it's close. It's probably one of the top 3 moves. I'm not trying to play the most precise move all the time. I'm just trying to show you what I believe is the most instructive idea. So that's why I'm going with e5. Or that's just my excuse for not being able to find the best move always, like Hikaru. Take it as you want. So e5. What else? What is opponent gonna do? Can you just go like ignore me with a move like knight e7? Of course not, because they always take, releasing the tension. And now I've got a bit of a hidden threat, guys. So once again, you can go ahead and pause the video. Try to find a little exercise. We actually have so many threats. There are like more than one good move. So you gotta be watching out for everything in this position, I think. Oh, by the way, sorry if the camera was like moving around a bit. I was just like kicking my desk without realizing because I'm pretty dumb. So, anyways, 97. He plays that. Now we can definitely try to pause the video, come up with a move on your own. One of them is knight f6 check and then picking up the queen, but even better, take a piece, hit the queen. That did not sound right. Anyways, what I'm trying to say, it's much better to have an extra bishop than having a queen for a rook and a minor piece. That's like a +1 advantage. And now we're like +3, so you kind of do the math. It's not that hard, trust me. Alright, queen is under attack. What is the opponent gonna do? Is he just gonna resign and give credits to our amazing strategy of opening up the position? Of course not. They're playing on. They always play on, man. I hate it. 94. How do we play against this move? Could definitely do something like queen e4. I mean, I just gotta like move my queen and we should be okay. There's a pawn on b7 that's hanging. You spotted that right. But I don't really wanna engage into such weird queen journeys. So, okay, gotta play like a good boy. Centralizing my queen. Applying pressure onto this knight. Most likely forcing a move such as c5. And then I'm trying to think. May not look like that, but I'm trying to think what we need to play. I think it's time to just develop. Is that a thing that you could do in chess? I don't know. c5 doesn't really have a threat. It's just kind of like a defensive move, but I could play bishop c4 here, for example. He castles. Say I play knight e5. I think that can't be that bad. It cannot be that bad. Okay, I'm just gonna play an annoying move. Gonna be the most annoying person in the room. Bishop b5 check. Take that, opponent. Boom. He cannot really take the bishop because the queen will remain undefended. And yeah, has to move the king. And what do? We just don't care. Like Hikaru. Okay, knight e6, that's actually a bit helpful because I think we do get to win a full rook. After takes, take with a bishop, check. He has to move, maybe take the rook. So yeah, if he takes with a knight, that's gonna be actually a pretty good instructive moment. He probably won't take though, because I can take his queen, but actually it doesn't really matter. Knight takes on c6 is not that instructive as I thought. If anything wins there. I was thinking queen takes on c6 is precise, but realized rook d8 wins as well easily. Because then if he takes with the knight, the rook hangs in the corner at the end of the line. So, my bad. But, looks like we just got a pretty free win. After we apply this ultra sophisticated strategy of opening up the position while our opponent did not castle. So remember, that's like the ultimate way of punishing him. Double check. Oof, that is almost checkmate. Almost. King f7, bishop d5. Yep. Let us check. He has to go king f8 and then I think I'm gonna go queen. Well, there's like this move that just easily wins. Queen e7 is like pretty funny though. I want to play the funny move. No, I just want to keep it simple. Take queen g7, check, pick up the queen on the next move. I was thinking queen e7 could be like a funny way of playing this, but no need to disturb the gods of chess. Just have to be thankful for this free win and act like a decent human being. Which, definitely struggling too, but doing my best, guys. Queen f6, and it looks like we're gonna get a pawn checkmate. That is pretty cool, huh? We do get a pretty nice pawn checkmate to finish the game. So, now actually let's check it. Was this good? Was it bad? Was this like any sort of interesting? So this is like the vital moment. Come on, e5, top line. Actually, I told you it's maybe the third move. Wait, I said specifically it's like the third move. No, I said it's like one of the top 3 moves. So it is like the third move, but I see I told you guys, maybe e5 not like the very best, but definitely you cannot go wrong with following the fundamentals. That is the main point that I'm trying to make. So his king is in the middle. Automatically e5 becomes a very good move. And as I was saying, knight e7 was better, but still is much worse for him with lots of moves. Bishop g5 apparently strongest, with the idea that if he castles, there's simply bishop d3, and I guess he's just losing. Knight f6 is like a huge threat. Just say he does nothing, knight f6. Takes with a bishop, or oh, that is actually anything wins, but this is smoothest. Of course, I wouldn't have found such thing, but and I just you don't even take the queen, just go queen h6. That's like pennies. You don't go for that. We just go for the big bucks here on g7. It's getting mate on g7. All right, guys. I feel like we actually managed to say a lot of weird words during this game, which is really annoying. So I think it's actually a pretty good time to wrap up the video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you around on the channel. Take care.